Welcome to the Mugiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. In today's video, we're diving deep into the world of One Piece, exploring the incredible story arcs that have made this series an absolute masterpiece. From the very beginning to the epic showdowns in the New World, we've got it all covered. So grab your straw hat and join us on this adventure as we count down the most iconic arcs in One Piece history. Fans enjoy the exciting arcs that come from One Piece's big world and complicated plots. One Piece, Eiichiro Oda's best-known series, is a gem when it comes to the way it tells a story. Since 1997, the pirate-filled shonen has become one of the best and most loved stories of all time. After so many years of action, comedy, and great fight scenes, the series has a lot of fan-favorite storylines to choose from. Some fans think that the best parts of One Piece happen right at the beginning. Some people say that Monkey D. Luffy's experiences get better as the series goes on, which means that the second half of the series has better story arcs all around. Every part of One Piece has been a hit since it started. The best parts of the story are spread out over its impressive 25-year run. We will explain each story arc in this video. Let's get started. Episodes 1 to 3, The Romance Dawn Arc. The Romance Dawn Arc of One Piece is where Monkey D. Luffy and Roronoa Zoro's great shonen adventure begins. During the first 3 episodes of One Piece, which make up this short arc, Luffy tells everyone, starting with his friend Koby, who has pink hair, that he wants to be the Pirate King. During the Romance Dawn Arc, fans also get their first look at Roronoa Zoro. The famous first scene of the fighter in Shell's Town is still a highlight of the series, even after 20 years. With these big character debuts, One Piece gets off to a great start, and this is reason enough for the Romance Dawn Arc to be complimented. Episodes 4 to 8, The Orange Town Arc. When the Orange Town storyline starts, the Straw Hat Pirates are in a very bad situation. Monkey D. Luffy and Roronoa Zoro can't find their way because they don't know how to navigate, so they drift aimlessly until they find the quiet island where Orange Town is. By the end of the Orange Town arc, Luffy and Zoro meet Nami and Buggy the Clown, 2 characters who become important to the story of One Piece. Even without the fun fights between the Straw Hats and the Buggy Pirates, the introduction of these 2 characters would make this arc one of the best in One Piece history. Episodes 9 to 18, The Syrup Village Arc. Even though the Straw Hat Pirates come together in the first episode of One Piece, it doesn't happen until the Syrup Village Arc that the group starts to feel like a real team. At the end of their fight against Kuro and the Black Cat Pirates, Luffy, Zoro, Usopp, and Nami have all decided to be friends with each other. Kuro's evil plan to kill everyone in Syrup Village makes the town's loud-mouthed shooter move quickly. Because of his bravery, the Straw Hat Pirates beat one of the most evil pirate groups in the East Blue. Even though Syrup Village is one of the shorter One Piece arcs, the things that happen there are important enough for even the most dedicated fans to watch it again. Episodes 19 to 30, The Baratie Arc. When they get to Baratie, the Straw Hat Pirates are just starting out as a group. Even though Nami is going with them, the only real members are Luffy, Usopp, and Zoro. But by the end of this One Piece story, Sanji has joined the group and is now the cook, which was one of the most important jobs. Even the most experienced fans cry when they see Sanji tell the cooks of Baratie about his past. Even though it was important, Dracula Mihawk's debut has to be the best thing about these shows. His acts show that there is a limit to how powerful someone can be in the world of One Piece. They also gave Roronoa Zoro a moment that made him famous. Episodes 31 to 44, The Arlong Park Arc. Most fans agree that the Arlong Park Arc is when One Piece really started to get going. By adding the Fishmen and the 7 Warlords, Eiichiro Oda started to make the One Piece world bigger. Fans also find out the truth about Nami's past, which is as sad as it is enlightening. Also, this arc of One Piece has some of the most important events in the story at the time. Luffy's fight against the Arlong is full of emotional energy because Nami's freedom and the lives of everyone in her hometown are at stake. Episodes 45 to 53, The Loguetown Arc. For the Straw Hat Pirates, the Loguetown Arc is a bit of a turning point. Loguetown, which is their last stop in East Blue, marks the real start of Monkey D. Luffy's journey as a pirate. There, he meets people like Monkey D. Dragon, Buggy the Clown, and Captain Smoker. In the end, he ends up in the same pillory as Gold D. Roger. The Loguetown Arc sets up many parts of Luffy's journey across the Grand Line. It has a lot of different characters and ties to the story of One Piece. Even though the Straw Hats stop in Loguetown is only a stopover, which reduces the arc's potential, it is still one of the best parts of the whole series. Episodes 62 to 63, The Reverse Mountain Arc. Even though the Reverse Mountain Arc in One Piece only has 2 episodes, it presents several characters who are likely to be important in the end saga. During this stretch, we see Crocus, Laboon, and Nefertari Vivi for the first time. This is the true start of the Straw Hat Pirates' time on the Grand Line. Laboon's attempt to break through the Red Line and rejoin the pirate group that left him behind is a striking image. Since it has to do with Brook joining the Straw Hat Pirates, it's easily one of the best parts of the Alabasta saga. This, along with the link between Crocus and Gold D. Roger and Vivi and the world government, is a big reason why the Reverse Mountain Arc has aged like a fine wine. Episodes 64 to 67, the Whiskey Peak Arc. Bounty hunters are talked about a lot throughout the One Piece storyline, but they don't play a big part on screen until the Whiskey Peak Arc. The main characters of the story don't blink an eye when the people of Whiskey Peak accept the Straw Hat Pirates with open arms. Unfortunately, it turns out that these people are actually reward hunters for Baroque works. They told Luffy and his crew about the criminal organization. During this arc, Mr. Five and Miss Valentine, 2 of Baroque work's most powerful officers, show up. However, Luffy and Zoro quickly show that they are much better by quickly getting rid of the 2. Soon after that, the Straw Hat Pirates promise to help Nefertari Vivi get back to Alabasta. This promise leads to the crew's first battle with the Warlord of the Sea. Episodes 68 to 69, the Diary of Koby-Meppo. Most of the time, the One Piece anime doesn't follow the manga's cover tales. Most of these stories are short, so they don't really work well for the anime form. But Koby and Helmeppo's joining the Marines turned out to be too important to the story of the show, so it was made into a short mini-arc. The Diary of Koby-Meppo arc shows the pair's early struggles in the Marines, which reminds viewers not to forget about these 2 characters. Also, this arc of One Piece features Monkey D. Garp, who is the grandfather of Monkey D. Luffy and might be the most famous Marine of all time. Episodes 70 to 77, the Little Garden Arc. Elbaf has more stories than any other island along the Grand Line of One Piece. The Giants Island hasn't shown up yet in the series, but the Straw Hat Pirates have gotten a taste of its warrior-like society through experiences like the Little Garden Arc. 2 giants, Dory and Broggy, have been fighting for 100 years on the island of Little Garden. Because they were determined and honest, they got along with the Straw Hat Pirates right away. But Baroque Works breaks their fight, making Dory, Broggy, and the rest of the Straw Hat crew angry. Episodes 78 to 91, the Drum Island Arc. Every One Piece arc that gives the Straw Hat Pirates a new member is very important, and the Drum Island Arc is no different. Nami has a disease that could kill her, so Luffy and his team rush to Drum Island to find a doctor to join them. The Straw Hats are lucky because they meet Tony Chopper, a reindeer who became a doctor and wants to fix all the world's illnesses. His sad past, the evil villain of the arc, Wapol, and the struggles of the people of Drum Island all make for a great setting for a new Straw Hat Pirate story. Episodes 92 to 130, the Alabasta Arc. Since the Whiskey Peak Arc, fans have been getting more and more excited to see how the Alabasta saga ends. The Straw Hats put everything on the line to save Princess Vivi Nefertari's country from the warlord Crocodile because she was their friend. Crocodile quickly became one of the best bad guys in the series because he was the first person to beat Luffy in a fight. He was also the one who made Luffy push himself to his limits and get stronger. When this One Piece story ends, the world government finally starts to pay attention to Luffy and his crew. This is where Luffy's bad image begins to change. Episodes 144 to 152, the Jaya Arc. Even though the Jaya Arc sets up what happens in Skypiea, it should not be overlooked as a story in its own right. During this arc, many new characters were introduced, including Bartholomew Kuma, Bellamy, Blackbeard, Doflamingo, Mont Blanc Cricket, Sengoku, the Five Elders, and Whitebeard, to name a few. This made it one of the busiest parts of any One Piece story. Blackbeard and Monkey D. Luffy's talks about going after their dreams would be reason enough to talk about this arc. But the extra scenes with the Straw Hat Pirates fight with Bellamy and Mont Blanc Cricket's struggle make it clear that it is one of the best in the series. Episodes 153 to 195, the Skypiea Arc. The Skypiea story is one of the ones that doesn't get as much attention as it should. It has everything a great journey needs, including the most interesting setting in the One Piece story. The Skypiea Arc also shows important details about the mysterious poneglyphs. Near the end of the story, Robin finds one that not only tells him who the ancient weapon Poseidon is, but also has a message from Gold D. Roger. In it, the former Pirate King says that the truth about the Void Century is on Raftel, the last island of the Grand Line and the place where One Piece is said to be hidden. When you add in the heartbreaking story about the Shandorians and Mont Blanc Nolan, this One Piece arc becomes one of the best in the show. Episodes 207 to 219, The Long Ring Longland Arc. The Long Ring Longland Arc is right in the middle of two of the most popular stories in One Piece. Even though it would be easy to think of this story arc as just fluff, that's not the case. People remember the Long Ring Longland Arc for many reasons, some of which show how bad it was. When the Straw Hat Pirates come back from Skypiea, they go straight to Long Ring Longland, where they meet the Foxy Pirates. What happens next is a fight between the two teams, which doesn't change much for either side and doesn't do much more than give fans a few cheap laughs before the Water 7 saga. Episodes 229 to 263, The Water 7 Arc. Many people think that the Water 7 and Enies Lobby Arcs are the same, but they are actually two parts of the same bigger story. Water 7 covers everything up until the Straw Hats leave for Enies Lobby. It's not as important as the story that comes after it, but it's still one of the best arcs in One Piece. The Straw Hat Pirates go through some big changes while they are in Water 7. Robin and Usopp leave the crew for different reasons, causing Luffy to show for the first time that he can deal with problems among his crew. Also, Frankie is brought into the story, which leads to one of the most Straw Hat heavy parts of the group's journey. Episodes 264 to 325, The Enies Lobby Arc. When it comes to the story arcs in One Piece, many fans think that the Enies Lobby Arc is the best of all. It has a lot of memorable parts, like Nico Robin's sad past and Frankie breaking the plans for the ancient weapon Pluton. It also shows Luffy's Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd changes. At a major turning point in the story, Luffy and the Straw Hats burn down the flag of the world government to show how determined they are to save and protect Robin. By doing this, they not only give Robin the will to live again, but they also declare war on everyone else in the world. From regular pirates to crooks from all over the world, Enies Lobby has it all. When you add good stories about each of the Straw Hat Pirates, this series is one of the best in the history of anime. Episodes 337 to 381, The Thriller Bark Arc. Thriller Bark is another story arc in One Piece that doesn't get enough attention. At first, it has a funny mood with lots of classic One Piece jokes. As soon as the Straw Hats work together to beat Warlord Gecko Moria and his huge monster ores, the situation quickly gets worse. People also like this arc because it introduces the Straw Hats Singer Brook and shows Roronoa Zoro's fight with Bartholomew Kuma. In one of his best moments in the series, he stops Kuma from killing Luffy by deciding to take on all the pain he felt during his fight with Moria. This nearly kills him in the process, but it's one of his best moments. Episodes 385 to 405, The Sabaody Archipelago Arc. The Sabaody Archipelago is an incredibly gripping scene that looks at some of the darker themes of the series, like racism and slavery. It also tells about the Celestial Dragons, who are the children of the people who started the world government and have full political power. When a Celestial Dragon shoots one of Luffy's friends and tries to make another one his slave, the Straw Hat Pirate hits the dragon in the face to get back at him. Even though this was a rewarding moment for many fans, it also led to Marine Admiral Kizaru going after the Straw Hats. Not only did they know what it was like to lose badly, but they also saw how powerful the government's forces can be. Episodes 408 to 417, The Amazon Lily Arc. When Bartholomew Kuma forces the Straw Hat Pirates to split up, every member of the group is saddened by their loss. But Monkey D. Luffy doesn't have time to complain about his situation. Instead, during the Amazon Lily Arc, he comes up with a plan to stop his brother, Portgas D. Ace, from being put to death. Luffy plans to break into One Piece's safest place, Impel Down, with the help of Boa Hancock and her followers. Even though the Amazon Lily Arc isn't very long, it helps set up Marineford, which is one of the best One Piece stories. Episodes 418 to 421, The Straw Hat Separation Arc. As Monkey D. Luffy tries to break out of Portgas D. Ace's jail, the other Straw Hat Pirates are getting their bearings in different parts of the Grand Line. Each one is sent to a place that will help them grow as pirates, and they spend the next 2 years getting better at what they do. The Straw Hat Separation Arc happens in between the Impel Down Arc, but it's different enough to be thought of as its own storyline. After the One Piece time skip, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, and the rest of the Straw Hat Pirates showed up, so it's great to see them again. Episodes 422 to 452, The Impel Down Arc. At the start of the Impel Down Arc, Luffy sneaks into the famous Impel Down jail to save his brother Portgas D. Ace from being killed. First, his plan doesn't work because he lost to Magellan, the jail warden. He would have died, but the rebel Ivankov and his old enemy Mr. Tubon Clay helped him stay alive so he can save Ace. Throughout the whole arc, Luffy shows how ambitious and charismatic he is by getting new friends like Ivankov, Jinbei, and even former foes like Buggy the Clown and Crocodile to join his side. In the end, Luffy and his friends are able to get out of Impel Down and defeated the world government at the same time. Episodes 457 to 489, the Marineford Arc. The first half of One Piece comes to an end with the Marineford Arc. It shows some of the most important people in the history of One Piece. It's also a big turning point for Luffy, who learns that he and his friends are no match for the powerful people in the New World. In the end, many fans are sad about the deaths of Ace and Whitebeard, the famous Emperor of the Sea. In his last moments, Whitebeard confirms the reality of the One Piece, which marks the start of a new age. The Marineford Arc not only marks the end of an era, but it also cements Whitebeard's place as one of the best anime characters ever. Episodes 490 to 516, the Post-War Arc. The events of Marineford have shocked everyone in the One Piece world. The post-war arc tells about what happened after Whitebeard fought the world government. It also moves the show into the new era, which is probably the most important transition in the whole show. During this arc, Jinbei and Blackbeard step down as warlords of the sea, but the most important change has to be how each of the Straw Hat Pirates plans to handle the time skip. Fans won't soon forget the sad sight of them getting ready to train for 2 years without each other. Episodes 517 to 522, the Return to Sabaody Arc. One of the smallest arcs in One Piece is when the Straw Hat Pirates go back to Sabaody Archipelago. But despite being short, this episode has some of the most exciting reveals of any arc in the series after the time skip. During this arc, each of the Straw Hats shows up one by one to show how they look after the time skip. Their forms are beautiful, but they don't show nearly as much power as the short views we get of each character. All of them get a chance to show how much they've grown by making quick work of the Marines and pacifistas on the island. Episodes 523 to 574, the Fishman Island Arc. Before the time skip in One Piece, the Fishman Island Arc was meant to happen. But because the Straw Hat Pirates split up at Sabaody, the events had to be put off for 2 years. After Rayleigh coated their ship with bubble, the Straw Hat group goes to Fishman Island to start their adventure in the New World. The arc effectively tackles the important issues of the series such as racism and the poor treatment of fishmen. Monkey D. Luffy picks a fight with the Emperor of the Sea, Big Mom, after defeating Hody Jones. Arguably even more importantly, Nico Robin reveals Shirahoshi's identity as Poseidon. Episodes 579 to 625, the Punk Hazard Arc. One of the most famous parts of One Piece is the Punk Hazard Arc. It's not only the start of the Dressrosa saga, but also the start of Luffy's fight against the Emperors of the Sea. In this arc, Luffy and Trafalgar D-Law join forces with other pirates to take down Kaido, one of the famous Emperor on the Grand Line. Fans also get to see Dr. Vegapunk's fake devil fruits and work the Smile Devil Fruit, which is an interesting thing. Also, the story makes sure that Dressrosa starts out strong, because Virgo's death at the hands of Trafalgar Law makes Doflamingo go after the Union itself. Episodes 629 to 746, the Dressrosa Arc. The Dressrosa Arc is Luffy and his crew's first big problem since they got to the New World. It also tells the story of Don Quixote Doflamingo, one of the most powerful and evil bad guys in One Piece. Since his gang is split up, Luffy joins forces with a group of pirates and warriors who were hurt by Doflamingo's harsh rule. This arc also shows the return of Luffy's adopted brother Sabo and the start of his long-awaited change into Gear 4th. By the end of this arc of One Piece, Luffy and his friends have formed the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which will eventually shake the world to its core. Episodes 751 to 779, the Zou Arc. After the events of Dressrosa, Luffy and the other Straw Hat Pirates go on a journey. This is what the Zou Arc is about. This One Piece arc isn't very long, but like Sabaody Archipelago, it has a lot for fans to think about. Zunesha is a huge elephant that holds up the island of Zou. His look is also important to what happens later in the story. The Zou Arc was the start of the Emperor of the Sea saga in One Piece, and it gave fans their first look at the road poneglyphs. The Pirate Ninja Mink Samurai Alliance was made, and Luffy left with the Rescue Sanji party to get his crewmate back from the Vinsmoke family and the Emperor of the Sea Big Mom. Episodes 783 to 877, The Whole Cake Island Arc. Even though the Whole Cake Island Arc gets off to a slow start, it quickly picks up speed as Luffy and his friends finally face off against the power of an Emperor of the Sea. The arc also shows that Sanji is the Prince of the Germa Kingdom and goes into detail about his sad and violent childhood. In the Sanji rescue mission, it's not about whether or not the Straw Hats will win like in other One Piece stories. Instead, it's about whether or not they can escape Big Mom's anger. Fans can't help but worry about the Straw Hats and whether or not they'll all make it out safe. As Luffy faces Charlotte Katakuri, the most powerful son of Big Mom and one of the toughest people he's ever fought, the excitement and anticipation grow even more. Episodes 878 to 889, The Reverie Arc, as the Sanji retrieval team goes to Wano Country after getting away from Big Mom. Fans see several episodes about the Reverie, a political meeting between many of the most important characters in the whole series. The choices made at these meetings have a huge effect on the past of One Piece, so the Reverie Arc is very important for understanding how the world government works. Fans will also get to see the leaders of the Revolutionary Army for the first time. Besides them, there are a lot of older people at the meeting, each with their own plans. In the end, everyone agrees to get rid of the warlords of the sea. But what's most important is that Imu, the king of the world, is also revealed. Episodes 890 up to present, as of the making of this video, the Wano Country Arc. The Wano Country Arc is almost over, and the end of the raid on Onigashima has caused waves all over the One Piece world. The fight between the ninja pirate Mink Samura Alliance and Big Mom and Kaido is one of the best scenes in the history of anime. It is by far the biggest story arc in One Piece. During this One Piece arc, Ace, Oden, Gold D. Roger, Kaido, Big Mom, Ryukyu, Shanks, Yamato, the Straw Hat Pirates, and many more characters show up directly or in flashbacks. While some are featured more than others, they all have quality moments in the spotlight as expected of a group that liberated Wano from the control of the world's two most wanted pirates. And there you have it, a comprehensive look at the major story arcs in the world of One Piece. With its rich storytelling, diverse cast of characters, and epic adventures, this anime and manga series has captured the hearts of fans worldwide for over 2 decades. Whether you're a longtime fan or just getting started on your One Piece journey, these story arcs offer a thrilling and unforgettable experience. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the One Piece universe. And remember, the great treasure known as One Piece is still out there waiting to be discovered at the end of the Grand Line. So, set sail with Luffy and his crew as they continue their quest for adventure and the ultimate treasure. Thank you very much for visiting the Mugiwara Sketches YouTube channel, buddy. We hope you enjoy our funny sketch videos and anime reviews. Don't forget to subscribe to continue joining us on our joyful journey in the world of anime. If you have any wishes, questions, or suggestions for our next videos, feel free to express your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you very much for your support, and until we meet again. See you next time, buddy.